Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician. Today we're going to be going into a video on my 23 Colorado. So I haven't decided if this is necessarily going to be a how-to video necessarily. It's going to be more of a look at what's going on. So the new generation Colorado came out 2023, came out 2022, but they're the 23 model year. And there have been things here and there that people have had issues with, and my truck so far has been pretty dang reliable. I had an issue with the remote start, and I also had the coolant leak on the upper radiator hose, which they've redesigned, I guess. I simply did the O-ring, but the dealership did place it under warranty and got me a new upper radiator hose anyways. So I didn't do a video on that just because I needed to get it fixed and just wasn't in the mood to create a video. Plus, Badland Industries already posted a video on the fix and everything. So if you guys haven't checked that out and you're having an issue, that's a very good video to check out. But in today's video, we're actually going to be looking at the front brakes, which has been an issue for a lot of people since these trucks released. You've been able to get rear brake pads for these trucks, no problem, since they were released basically. The problem is I don't care about the rear brakes. Rear brakes tend to last a lot longer than front brakes. A lot of these vehicles are front bias for the brakes. Whatever compound or makeup that they used of the brake pad, it is not a good quality one. I can tell you that, because it's not just me. I started having issues around 18 to 20,000 miles. I'm now at 30,000 miles. I'm still running the same brakes. It started out with a slight issue with a warped rotor. The dealership said they weren't going to turn it down. They didn't do that there. No big deal. If it got any worse, I was just going to take it to my buddy's shop and have it turned down there. I started to have on braking, a shaking steering wheel. Not anything like major, but I could feel it kind of floating back and forth. And a lot of people are going to comment, or I've seen comments, people on the Facebook page for the Colorado, you brake too hard, or you're really hard on the. No, it's not that. There are a lot of people having this issue, and you may brake hard. It doesn't matter. You should not be replacing brakes before 20,000 miles. I can tell you that. And I've been having this issue since before 20,000 miles. So I was having the issue of a warped rotor. I believe it's my driver's side primarily, and then almost immediately I was also getting the sensor issue where it was telling me the sensor needed to be replaced for the brake pad wear sensor. It needed to be replaced. And then now I had already contacted my dealership. They could get me aftermarket rotors for the front, but they couldn't get me brake pads. And after doing a bunch of searching, I could not find brake pads anywhere for this thing. And there were some people out there that found some brake pads that work on like the 23 Silverados with the 6.2. Those supposedly work, I don't know. But I got sick and tired of waiting. And luckily, I've found a couple of options. I shouldn't say alternatives. Rock Auto does now have a couple brands with front brake pads. The fact that I can get aftermarket custom parts for this truck, but I can't get OE parts for this truck is super irritating, because the truck has been out a couple years now. We should have a majority of this stuff, especially something like brakes. Even though we shouldn't be replacing brake pads this early, a lot of people are having to. Some people have been able to go to the dealership and within a week or sometimes two, they'd have new front brake pads and rotors. The couple of dealerships I talked to can't get them. So I was lucky enough to now find them on Rock Auto. They are power stop. I went with the Z36 package as far as the rotors and the performance brake pads. I'll show you guys the kit that I went with, or they have pre-assembled kits, but that's only available for the rear. For the front, you still have to order things individually. They do have the wear sensor, they do have the pads, and they do have the rotors. Now, I'm hoping they had 2, possibly 3 brands for front brake pads. I'm hoping they're actually legitimate. I don't know if anybody's tested any of these, so this is kind of a test to make sure that these are the correct pads for this truck and that everything goes smoothly. So I don't know if I'll do a whole in-depth, this is how you change your brakes. It's not, I've done plenty of brake changes. This one's pretty straightforward, nothing special about it, no special procedure or anything like that, just a standard brake change. So we're gonna go into that, make sure that all of this is correct. If it is, I will have Rock Auto link down in the description, or the brake pads that I use, the other options that are available now. So if you're having this issue, hopefully this is helpful for you guys, and hopefully here soon we have some OE replacements steadily being available, because right now they're on national back order. So let's go ahead and check out these parts that I ordered and go ahead and get them installed and make sure that everything hopefully works correctly, or we're gonna find out. So let's go ahead and get into it.
2 days later, we got our order from Rock Auto. I'm going to show you the parts that I went with. So as far as the brake pads, here's the part number. They're all power stop. And here's the part number. Then I bought the wear sensor because mine's been going off for quite a while. And they have a couple different options on Rock Auto as well. These are just the ones that I went with that we'll be testing out. And then here is the actual rotor. That I went with the Z36, which is the severe duty truck and tow brake pads. They didn't have it available for the rotors. They normally have a Z36 rotor and brake pad, but they didn't have that, so we went with the I think they're like the performance rotors. So with the brake pads, they did all come in one box, everything together. They do have a break-in procedure for these pads because these are the carbon fiber ceramic. And it comes with all the hardware that you need. They packaged the wear sensor in the actual pad box, which was nice so it didn't get crushed by the rotors or anything. And then your hardware, clips and all of that. And then the pads themselves, which look nice. Hopefully they're the correct ones and we don't have any issues with that, but we will find out here soon enough. Definitely doing this in the shop. I'm not doing it outside right now because it's like 4 degrees. Here are the rotors. This is the right hand side, or the passenger side, and then here is the driver's side, and it even states it on the rotors so you don't get them backwards, because these ones are drilled and slotted, and depending on the manufacturer, like a lot of people will believe that these are backwards, but they are not. This brand states that they go this direction. Same thing with the Wellwoods on the back. These ones actually have an arrow right here to show you the rotation of them. And so you just want to make sure that you get these on the right side. So this one's the passenger, and then we have the driver over here, which is just the exact same thing. So we'll go ahead and get these over to the shop and we'll get everything installed, hopefully, and be done with this issue. Alright, so I don't believe this rotor is warped. I think it's just the driver's side rotor that's warped, and it's been warped since about 20,000 miles. The brake pad sensor is only on the driver's side, and these pads have been worn since, I want to say 19 or 20,000 miles, and so this is what the passenger side looks like as far as life left in them. But I don't brake hard. I don't do anything out of the ordinary. I do carry a little bit of extra weight, and I do drive quite a bit, but I know a lot of people are also running into the brake pads lifespan not being the greatest, so I wanted to take a closer look at it and see if there were any issues. Oh, look horrible. So here's all the old hardware, old spring clip and pad, and then the power stop kit does come with everything you need to replace it, so should be pretty simple. And definitely was time for new pads. So I want to see what the brake pad sensor, wear sensor, looks like on the driver's side, but we'll look at that in just a second.
Just use the old pads.
They fit, they're the correct ones.
Right.
It's good to know. Here is the wear sensor we'll be removing so you guys can see that. And we'll see what this one looks like, because I'm afraid this one's going to be pretty worn down, because this is where I was having a majority of my issues. So, new rotors in. New pads, lubricated, new clips. The only thing you need to be careful of is this little retaining clip right here. Is don't lose these guys. Now we'll start on the driver's side and see what that one looks like. This is the little clip that you don't want to lose. And that's what's going to allow you to pull these pins out. Ooh. There's the outside. It's definitely more worn than the other side. What's the inside one look like? Definitely much worse than the...
That's your sensor.
Oh, yeah. That would be why... That was the first thing to go off, was the sensor.
Did you happen to get a sensor?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. I forgot to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Power Stop had all of it. So I was like, I'm just going to get all this. There was another brand, but I had never used them before. Power Stop I had used, so I was like, I'm just going to go everything Power Stop.
I go by Power Stop.
So. Old sensor that was broken off. Focus. That one stopped before 20,000 miles. That was the first notification I got, and I was just going to replace this and couldn't do it, and then figured while I was there, since I had a warped rotor, I might as well just replace it all, and couldn't do that because GM didn't want to provide front brake pads or anything for this truck. So here's the new one that will get installed, but I want to see the back side of this rotor. Ease. What does she look like on the back?
Hot.
Yeah. It's definitely not as worn as much as I thought, but it's definitely warped.
Yeah.
Find the hole.
It's almost impossible to see. That clip in.
You just feel it out.
That's what I did. Whoa. Party mode.
Dance party.
Yeah, party mode. We're not ready to party yet.
Yeah. That's when the brakes don't work. That's when the party starts.
Yeah. These sections will come out and they will go into the wheel. And then not only do you not have brakes, you now need a new wheel. This guy.
Oh, yeah. See how long this one lasts.
Yeah, this guy. There's a little hole right here.
I sees it.
There we are.
Oh, yes. New pads and rotors are in, new hardware, and hopefully this is a huge improvement over what GM provided. Pretty easy, simple replacement, and hopefully it lasts longer than 20,000 miles like before. If you guys had this same issue, please let me know down in the comments. I know maybe you guys didn't have the warped rotor, maybe some of you did, but if you just had early brake wear, let me know down in the comments. It seems to be a pretty common issue with this new gen Colorado. Also went ahead and removed my heat shield for the spare tire since I don't need that. And then I put rubber pieces between my leaf springs again because my old ones walked out, so hopefully it'll get rid of that clatter going around roundabouts and speed bumps. So we will see. Good. It looks good on you.
Yeah, it's a little small for my liking.
No, it's not. No, it's not. So, both the rotors and brake pads and the brake pad wear sensor, all from Power Stop, did fit correctly. They were all good to go. Easy install. I let my buddy Dakota do it because he works there at the shop that I service, and I didn't want to do it outside because we just got 4 inches of snow and it was like 4 degrees this morning when I went to the dealership to work, and I was not feeling it. So he's always willing to help me out, and I really appreciate it, and it just makes things extremely easy. But not only did the install go well, but it's really nice not having the shake when I have to stop. And it was really disappointing when GM just could not get anything for the front. They could get me aftermarket rotors, but I waited 3 or 4 months, I believe, with no word on pads showing up anytime soon. So instead of constantly asking, I just was finally happy to see that somebody had released something for the front of these trucks. Also, keep in mind that I believe I stated in the beginning of the video that there were a couple people that found out that some of the 23 Silverado brakes do work. I believe they're the same. So there are other options out there, but it's nice that finally something is available. It's just really weird because I don't brake hard, at least not unless I absolutely have to. It's not like I do it on a regular basis or anything like that. So the warped rotor was one thing, but the driver's side pads were definitely wearing extremely fast. I don't know if it had to do with the piston or what was going on. Both sides were worn, the driver's side a little bit more than the passenger side. Sorry, my heat just kicked on. But overall, I'm extremely happy. I've been running the brake pads now for 2 days, so I'm going to go ahead and get this video edited and put together. And I really hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, this wasn't really how to install or change brake pads. It was just kind of look at my issue, just because I know there are many others having the same issue, whether that be the warped rotor or the early wear of brake pads. It seems to be happening quite a bit for people as early as 15,000 miles to about 30,000, which the brake pads should definitely last longer than that. So unfortunately, I think it's just some people are having issues with calipers locking up. Some, I think it's just the material or the brake pads that GM chose to go with. Unfortunately, I just don't think it was a good combo for the weight of these trucks, especially with me carrying extra weight. That probably didn't help, but all in all, it went well. I'm just happy to have them changed. If you guys have any questions on doing the brake change yourself, feel free to drop a comment down below. I'd be happy to help in any way possible. I'm always willing to help. So if you guys have any questions, drop a comment down below. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to smash that thumbs up. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.